Okay, so I actually started this video when it was still daylight out, and it's about 10 o'clock now. I started the video in the shop, and then I ended up coming outside, and when I started working on this thing, I actually did a time warp, and then I thought when I slowed the video down that it was going to allow me to use audio and then go back to the time warp, but apparently that didn't work. So I will have to run through and edit and overlay all of the video with sound, unfortunately. But this is where I'm at so far. I did not video taking some of this apart because I was kind of done. I was just going to do some cleaning and then be done with it. But I ended up taking the AC compressor off and the mount. The mount and the pulleys, idlers underneath it, the fan, the clutch fan, and all that over here. And I just want to try to get some of this cleaned up a little bit better before I start putting stuff back together. And it's going to be easier to get to some of this stuff anyway. So on with the rest of the video. Okay, well, this is my messy shop, and apparently where the XJ's been getting worked on lately. Kind of a little bit of a history. This one here is the first one I bought about 6 years ago. It was originally white. I painted it this OD green, and I've done a little bit of work on it here and there. It's not really a project I worked on too much, but now my 15-year-old kid, boy, is gonna be wanting to drive it soon. So we've started working on it, and we've started putting in the rough country 4.5-inch lift long arm kit. And so we're not quite there yet, but we've started installing all that. And I bought this Jeep for like 500 bucks, and it mainly had the rear axle, the pinion crush sleeve was over crushed, and the 4-wheel drive didn't work because the linkages were hooked up wrong. The back door didn't open because it was all froze up. It just been there's a bunch of holes in the floor, so I've repaired most of those. Oh, he's got it locked. It should open now. But and then I took and Herculined all of the inside of it on the floorboards. It's dirty now. I did the Herculine, oh, it's been 5-6 years ago. We've moved since, so we're getting there. It's going to be a build for him in his first rig. We're not the most professional painters. We didn't get all the door jambs and stuff painted, but we did spray it with a gun, or I sprayed it with a gun. So I'm sure it's going to go through the brush and trees and everything else, so it's good enough for what we'll be doing with it. And then this Jeep out here is the one that I bought 2 years ago, actually now, which is kind of crazy. I didn't think I had it that long. And I haven't done a ton to it, but I'm getting excited to start. I've been cleaning it up and getting excited to start getting it really going, because there's a few events that I want to start taking it to here in Oregon
maybe to our racetrack through the mud and stuff. And then I think it's Cy, Oregon. They have the mountaintop mud bogs, which I'm wanting to go through too. So the parts are piling up. I'm gonna start probably working on some of this tonight. I have a whole list of stuff. I stripped the interior and washed this all out, and we're gonna ride a line inside of this. There's some holes, some big holes that somebody cut out when they were lifting it and putting tires on it. I think at one time this thing had 38s on it. It's only got 35s on it now, but they had that covered up with the fender wells. So I didn't know when I bought it that it had those big holes and gaps back here until we started washing and cleaning it. And of course my welder took a crap this week, so I just sent it off to the welding shop to be repaired. And unfortunately they're telling me that's 4 to 6 weeks, and I have a big project showing up tomorrow, but unfortunately I need a welder for it, so it's not going to happen anytime soon. But I don't know, I'm going to probably start ripping the front of this thing apart to do water pump, thermostat. I do have MSD coil pack and wires, and then I have a cap and rotor coming. Fortunately they're behind at I think it was Jegs, and so it's not going to show up until middle of next week. But I'm going to cut this off here, and then I might do a little videoing of tearing into this thing here and there. This thing had a really bad death wobble when I bought it, and a lot of these linkages were, a lot of the tie rod ends and stuff were loose. The power steering box is actually broke, so I made this cross member to support it. The ears broke off. You're probably not going to be able to see it up there, but the ears broke off. But I went ahead and made this cross member to, one, to help support the steering box, and two, just to help strengthen the unibody up a little bit. I do already have frame stiffeners that I need to put on. I have 2 boxes around here somewhere of that stuff, and it's going to be a lot of work. I'm going to paint it actually the same color as that Jeep, because I have, I think, 2 gallons of that paint. Kind of do a father-son build. This one's got a little bit more lift though. I think this has 8-inch Skyjacker springs, and then I don't know what those are, another 2-inch blocks on the top of them, or spring bushings, whatever you call them, up on top. So all right, I guess time for some work. Okay, so this is where I pulled the cap and rotor out of this, off of this distributor, and I'm showing that the inside of this thing's all rusted up and dirty. I'll be cleaning that up and putting a new cap and rotor on it, and new plugs and wires, and a new coil pack. So I have this thing in a time warp, and I'm having to walk back and forth to the toolbox, bring tools outside. I have too much inside to get it inside to work on it, but I get the electric fan out of it, and I'm pulling the fan shroud out of it. So I got the upper radiator hose pulled off and pulling a couple of the heater hoses off the top of the water pump. And then I start working on the power steering unit
and I don't know why, but I had a heck of a time trying to find where all the bolts were for loosening that up and getting the belt loosened up and getting that power steering unit pulled off. But I finally got it. There's one bolt in the back that was hanging me up, but I eventually got it all pulled out of there and taken off. Now I'm getting the water pump pulley off and getting ready to pull the water pump out. So this is one of the spots where I pulled the camera down and I was supposed to have audio. And I believe I was talking about how dirty things were after I spent quite a bit of time trying to wash this stuff up. But I got the water pump out, the thermostat housing out, fan shroud and electric fan. Got the water running because the dog, I have one dog's outside with me, so I'm trying to get it so he's not out there trying to lick that stuff up. But when I first got this Jeep, the coolant reservoir and the coolant system was just loaded with mud. I think somebody that had it previous probably blew some lines out mud and just started using mud water to fill up the radiator to probably get back to the house or whatever, and it was just, everything was caked. So I flushed it out probably 10 times trying to get everything out of it and things cleaned out. And I drive it to work, which is about a 20-minute drive, and I haven't had it overheat. So back to the parts store in the morning because this idler here is pretty noisy, so I'll be replacing that. And I think I'm also going to get a upper radiator hose. I have the lower hose, but I'm going to go ahead and replace the upper hose while I'm at it. Alright, well that's it for today. I'm ready for bed. I'll take the kids to school and grab a couple more parts in the morning and try to pressure wash this thing so I can start putting it back together. I have a few things sitting in the solvent tank I need to clean up and get it ready to go back in, and then it'll be the next project because I have like I said, a long list. I have a tranny pan I need to pull out. It's got a lot of silicone around the back of it for some reason, and so yeah, long list. So till tomorrow or the next time. Talk to you later. Thanks for watching.